We go now to our primetime news exclusive. TVJ News has obtained footage from the Spanish Town Hospital in St. Catherine from the Ministry of Health. As Shamela Pullen now reports, due to the increase in COVID hospitalizations, the waiting area of the Accident and Emergency Department is no more. Instead, it has been transformed into an isolation ward.
Another day on the job.
Good afternoon. Hi. How is isolation area?
This is one of the COVID isolation areas at the Spanish Town Hospital.
So this is the area around there. You're looking at where we came from now. You can see on the veranda, you see that grill work around there. This is the patient around that, the staff around that side as well. And this here is inside one of the rooms there. We have a few rooms, that individual rooms.
The nurses are not only treating the patients for COVID-19.
The fact is, the patients who come in for COVID does not necessarily just have COVID, because they have other things that's happening to them, like hypertensive, diabetic. So for most of the patients who go down, they do have other complications, or COVID just complicate whatever else would have been happening to them. So persons with the underlying, because I'm looking at these, and all of these I'm taking up are antihypertensives.
As for COVID-19 treatment,
we don't have a COVID medication. We have treating the patient according to what is happening to them.
The isolation rooms are designed to hold a specific number of beds, but with hospitalizations climbing, adjustments have to be made.
Initially we had 6 in here, now we have to push it up to 7. In here it's not as close as, it's not as close as, and so what the nurse would do inside, the nurse goes inside, done up all like this, and then they do the vitals and put it on the nurse on the outside would get the information so that it can put in the patient's files.
The waiting area in the Accident and Emergency Department has also been transformed into a makeshift isolation ward.
We have them in various sections. By right, we should not have all these cases, because once they become positive, we are aware that they are positive, we should have somewhere for them. However, the space is not unlimited. Because of that, all the patients are out here now, whether they are positive or suspected. Today we have 77 patients, 38 of whom are positive and 39 suspected. The beds, as you see, they are very close. So that alone is enough for us to say this cannot work as is. But there's nothing we can do, because we have to put the patients somewhere. We cannot turn away the patients. If you notice the oxygen cylinders, we try to get the ports, 2 ports on, so we can put patients on the oxygen 2 at a time.
So how are patients selected to go on the isolation ward?
Once they come with any of the symptoms of COVID, we try to isolate them. The fever, the cough, the cold, the not feeling well issues, we screen them, and we have this route that we put them through separate and apart than the general route of the emergencies that would have been an accident, notwithstanding that there are persons who come in otherwise, like in gunshot wound, accidents, and they too, when they are swabbed, we realize, because right now we have one on the ward who went to theater, is a GSW, gunshot wound, and that patient results returned positive.
And even as the nurse continued,
we tried to put up our screen to protect the patients from outside, elements from outside.
Concern on the ward, a woman insists on staying with her mother, who is suspected to have the virus.
And you, madam, I don't like the fact that you're in here, you know. How are you? You can't do without your daughter in here. You may not have her to go home with you, you know. When you are to go home, she may be on one of the beds. No, but we're advocating that you do not stay in the area where the patients have COVID.
The staff at the Spanish Town Hospital say they're doing the best they can with the limited resources, which is why they're making this appeal.
Or if these are the conditions that we have to face when you come in as a COVID or a suspect COVID patient, the best thing to do is to prevent having to come here and abide in conditions like these. So people need to get vaccinated.
Equally, the healthcare workers are stressing the need for citizens to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols. Now, St. Catherine, where the Spanish Town Hospital falls, has the second highest number of COVID-19 cases. And with the facility already bursting at the seams, there's no telling what the days and weeks will be like. Shamela Pullen, TVJ News.